Umayyah ibn Khalaf was a prominent figure in Meccan society. He was very wealthy. His wealth came from trade. Umayyah was a powerful merchant. He traveled widely for his business. He was also a devoted follower of the traditional Arabian religion. Umayyah strongly believed in the power of idols. He believed they brought him good fortune. He took great care of the idols in the Kaaba. He saw himself as a guardian of these sacred objects. His wealth and piety gave him a strong voice in Meccan affairs. Umayyah was a respected leader. People listened to his opinions. He enjoyed a life of comfort and influence. He was content with the traditional ways of Mecca. His life, however, was about to change. There was a new faith called Islam was emerging in his city. This new faith would challenge Umayyah's beliefs and his way of life. The arrival of Islam in Mecca unsettled Umayyah. He saw this new faith as a threat. Islam challenged the traditional gods of Mecca. It called for the worship of one God, Allah. This directly opposed Umayyah's beliefs and his status. Umayyah feared the consequences of Islam's rise. He worried about the loss of offerings to the idols. He feared the decline of his own influence. Umayyah decided to oppose the Prophet Muhammad. Muhammad was the founder of Islam. He joined forces with other Meccan leaders. They wanted to stop the spread of Islam. They ridiculed Muhammad. They persecuted his followers. They hoped to crush this new religion before it spread. Umayyah became a staunch opponent of Islam. He used his wealth and influence to hinder its progress. His opposition would have dire consequences, especially for one of his slaves. Bilal ibn Rabah was a slave owned by Umayyah. He was one of the early converts to Islam. Bilal's conversion infuriated Umayyah. He saw it as a personal betrayal. He was determined to force Bilal to renounce Islam. Umayyah subjected Bilal to cruel torture. He hoped to break his spirit. Bilal, however, remained steadfast in his faith. His courage in the face of persecution impressed the Muslims. His story became a testament to the power of belief. Abu Bakr, a close companion of Muhammad, was moved by Bilal's plight. He purchased Bilal's freedom from Umayyah. This act further enraged Umayyah. He regretted not demanding a higher price. This highlighted his greed and cruelty. Bilal's liberation was a symbolic victory for the early Muslims. It showed that Islam could overcome oppression. It also foreshadowed the changing dynamics between Muslims and their oppressors. The conflict between Islam and the traditional Meccan beliefs escalated. Umayyah and his allies intensified their opposition to Muhammad. They mocked his teachings. They rejected his message of monotheism. Umayyah in particular ridiculed the concept of the Day of Judgment. He could not fathom being held accountable for his actions. He refused to acknowledge Muhammad as a prophet. His stubbornness fueled the growing divide between the Muslims and their opponents. The tensions finally culminated in the Battle of Badar. This battle marked a turning point in the conflict between Mecca and the Muslims. Umayyah, initially reluctant to participate, was shamed into joining the Meccan army. In a twist of fate, Umayyah faced his former slave, Bilal, on the battlefield. Bilal, now a free man and a devoted Muslim, fought with courage. He mortally wounded Umayyah during the battle. Umayyah died on the journey back to Mecca. His death was a significant victory for the Muslims. It also served as a stark reminder of the shifting tides of power.